I think she would be so proud of the blossoming, if you will, of this organization and the things that it's now providing.
To me and to our family, she typified what philanthropy is all about, and that is that you do something for the value of it, not for the self-ingratiating that may or may not follow with it.
Anything that people that were low income, had difficulty, anything she could do to help, she was there up front and leading the charge.
There are many people in the community, of course, involved with mental health, even in those days. The 3 mental health clinics in the hospitals had social workers, psychologists, psychiatrists. Dianne was not any of those, but she was very much interested in the community development for those kinds of children. And Johnson Roberts was a judge who had pointed out to her the need for services for teenage girls. So she was very much involved then with Social Planning Council, who had a committee to talk more about other services for mental health. A psychologist with the Welland Board, Dr. Ken Wright, organized a committee, like under Social Planning Council, they had various committees, one being development of mental health services for children. So I was part of that committee, and they began to write papers about how to develop a service here in Niagara. The province had developed 10 regional centers, big centers, in places like Toronto, Ottawa, Windsor, Hamilton. There were 10 of them. And so the paper that Dr. Diamond at that point said, local communities could establish smaller kind of units. We were going to develop one just like it, have a great big one with inpatient, outpatient, family counseling, child treatment, and so on. But when it finally came down to it, it could not be that big a thing. It could be a day treatment program.
Yeah, Dianne was a very interesting person. She was dynamic. She was somebody that I think understood a lot more about the community that perhaps other people did. She had some unique qualifications in terms of her interests and the things that she wanted to get done.
When I went to her and said, Dan, you've got to get a board together to help set up this thing. The work has been done, the proposals have been written. We need you to do the infrastructure work. So this is what she was skillful at. That's why I like to call her not so much a social activist, but I'll call her a social structural activist. She was not carrying placards against something or in opposition. She was building something. And so this was her strength. She did not develop the program, but got it structured, funded, supported, and got it going.
She says, you got to start a service. And she came up with the answer, the Coordinated Emergency Services. And we started to work on it, and she was the one who was coming up with all the ideas. And we ended up having, in the basement of City Hall, all kinds of shelves built and food for people who were in trouble financially and didn't have enough to eat for their children. It got so busy that it shifted to another location, and it was the beginning of Project Share.
Dianne was a doer, there's no doubt about it, and she wasn't really somebody that was expecting any type of credit. She just wanted to do things, get things accomplished. Whether or not there was any type of recognition was unimportant to her.
And I know that she always had time and, dare I say, a soft spot for those, certainly within our family and outside our family, who had challenges. I mean, I remember, you know, the hours that she would spend on the phone, because there was no social media, she wasn't texting, but listening and talking to people and listening to their concerns and carrying their concerns. And she was not afraid to tell truth to power. You know, she had no problem phoning up the Prime Minister's office, the Premier's office, ministers, for causes that she believed in, and they were always causes for those who didn't have a voice.
So she helped us get acres again. The head architect and I went looking at available school spaces, and we chose a space in Welland on Merrittville Highway. It's where the new building was eventually built.
She was finally given in 1977 from Queen Elizabeth the Jubilee Award for her dedication and work on behalf of the community.
I would say we were working partners, but she was so amazing. I have to credit her with being the most important person in my life, apart from my husband and my family. Dianne was my mentor and friend, and I owe her so much.
Can you imagine today the number of people that she has helped over the past probably 40 years? And I think that was, without exception, one of the most important things we were able to accomplish.